Welcome back to Football Fanatics, guys. So, finally, week one has officially ended because Manchester United versus Wolverhampton match, which was left for the Monday, that has also been completed. And somehow, Manchester United managed to win this game by 1-0. It was Rafael Varane who scored the winner. Adarsh, being a Manchester United fan, what's your take on the United's performance?
Horrible, man. Horrible. Absolute shit performance by United. To be honest with you, even after winning the match, I'm literally feeling like a loser. There was not a single department on the pitch where Manchester United was better than Wolves, to be honest with you. From the minute one, the pressure that Wolves had on us, we just crumbled all throughout the pitch. I don't know what happened to the players. Casemiro, man, every time he got the ball, he was just missing it. I don't know why he was not protecting the ball. He was not taking care of the ball. Same for Bruno, same for Mason Mount. I think Eric Ten Hag got it absolutely wrong. You cannot play Bruno and Mason Mount.
Mount.
Yeah, Bruno and Mason Mount, they cannot be played on the same pitch because both are offensive minded. They were basically shaking hands with Rashford, and Casemiro was left alone in the midfield to take care of all the attack from Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I have no clue why Mason Mount started. And not just that, I mean, the overall energy of the United players was so low. I don't know what happened. I think the travel to the United States for the preseason and having played so many matches just took a toll on them. They just looked fatigued from the minute one. They did not have the energy, the aggression, the strength that it's required to play in a Premier League match. And Wolves, I think they lacked a striker. They lacked a finisher. Otherwise, they would have scored. And they should have scored. They should not have lost this match. At least they should have taken a draw out of it because we were absolutely shit, man. The only clear-cut chance that we got, we scored out of it. And that was just a moment of magic, sort of a magic from Bruno Fernandes. He just played that chip ball in the box and first time cross from Van Bissaka onto the head of Varane. But apart from that, man, I couldn't believe it that it was United at home against Wolves, the team
That
that
was match
literally,
one.
yeah, the first match. I mean, give something to the fans, man. I did not see it. I thought in the second half that the energy would increase, the players would do better, the formation would change, but nothing changed at all. I think we were lucky to get that goal. As I said, from just a moment of magic from Fernandes, we got that goal. Otherwise, I could not. I messaged you during the match. I cannot see a goal coming in this match, at least from United, and that's what happened. I mean, we were lucky to score just one goal. I also want to highlight that I don't think that Garnacho should have started. I mean, whenever he used to come as a sub in the last season, every time we thought that this guy is trying a lot. He's making chances. He should be given a start. But I think we got our answer. He's not a starter still. He's quite young. He's very rash. He wants to do a lot. He wants to prove something. But when you're starting for a team, you have to be in the game. So many times he just tried to run away with the ball, and a defender like Samedo, man, he's not a great defender, to be honest with you. He had him on his pocket the whole match. Rashford was totally non-existent throughout the match. I think he cannot play as a striker. It's people need to realize that Rashford, he can score goals. He's a decent player, but he needs to play on the wing, on the left side. As a center forward, he's not equipped to play as a center forward. He does not know how to hold the ball. He does not know how to get involved in the game, how to help his midfield, how to run the channels. He's not good in that. All so I think the only way he can perform again for United is to play from the left wing. We were unlucky that we could not uh, get Hoyland in this match. He was injured, but I think we should still have given a chance to Martial. I know he's been a flop, but at least he's better than Rashford in just holding up the ball and distributing the ball among the other forwards. Uh, I think when Sancho came on and Eriksen, we got a bit of control in the game. Sancho, I mean, he played for about 20 minutes, but I think his 20 minutes were much better than Rashford's entire game. He was doing a lot more than Rashford. Although I still think that he was lazy. You saw in the second half, around 70th minute, 75th minute, we were walking with the ball. We were not even sprinting with the ball. We got the ball, the player was just moving it around, passing to other players, and at the same time, the Wolves player were coming. It was so easy for the Wolves player to snatch the ball away from us. None of our players had a good control over the ball, over the game actually. But a point is a 3 points is 3 points. We're lucky to win, but I all I care is about winning. So it's a decent start in terms of the points, but we need to raise the performance when this cannot continue. And Ten Hag, should really make a wholesale changes in the next match. I think either you bench for Mason Mount or play. Uh, I mean, he cannot. For me, he cannot start Mason Mount. Or if he starts, then he should be given instructions that he has to contribute defensively. He has to be more involved in the game. He cannot run. He cannot play where Rashford is playing. He should be more involved in the game, and he should not rush things. Again, I thought that Mason Mount, he thinks in his head that he's a good player. He's a great player. He needs to prove something. But when you're over trying to prove something, it just backstabs you. So I think the chemistry should increase, the energy should increase. Maybe it will come with the fitness as long as and when we play. But there is much to be desired from the performance. It was really disappointing from United, and hopefully the encouragement that the players got after the win, they can continue with this and improve the performance as well. But overall, I think I stayed up till 3:30 a.m. in the morning to watch this shit. I really don't want to do that again. So these players better improve the performance, and I think Ten Hag also needs to become a bit smarter, man. He cannot. He should have made the changes in from the start of the second half. Garnacho should not have been given the chance to again start in the second half. He should be subbed off, and Sancho should have come in. So Ten Hag also needs to be a bit more proactive in his approach, in his changes. He cannot just let this continue. It's just the first match, so I'm not being very pessimistic about the performance. But there is a lot to be desired. The performance needs to increase if we have any ambition to challenge for the title, or at least finishing in the top four. Because I think out of all the top six clubs, or even the top eight clubs, apart from Aston Villa, this was the worst performance by any club. Even the top 10, I would argue. So that's how bad it was. So definitely needs to improve now.
Well, I think you have already spoken all the points. I think as a neutral spectator, it was a shit game for me to watch. To be very honest, I was watching the game and I was like, what the fuck I'm watching? Like I'm literally wasting my night for this shit show. Because obviously, from Manchester United, I expect some performance. I was expecting that okay, they will perform, but I think uh, Wolf gave me a big surprise. Man, they should. According to me, they were the deserving winners. Forget about drawing; they were the deserving winners. Man, there were a couple of players who were single-handedly, running with the ball from the half, from the D to the Manchester
Yeah.
United's D, right? From box to box, they were running, and Manchester United were not able to answer it properly. Really, really disappointing performance from Manchester United, and I think they need to improve from this. Of course, they were missing Hoyland big time because again, Rashford was completely non-existent, as you already mentioned. Mount was really disappointing. I think in the pre-season, while we were talking about this transfer, I already told you that he just has to be a backup for Bruno Fernandes because both are like-to-like players. Both are number 10 players, proper attacking midfielders. They both cannot play in the same team. Maybe Bruno has to then make some adjustments and take the a proper midfield role. But again, that is something that's not him. That's really not him. He is not that type of player who can, hold the ball, contain the pressure, move the passes around. No, he's not that type of. Again, he is a type of player who will run with the ball forward. So I think Tenak has to look into it again. 15 more days to go for the transfer window to be completed. I think Manchester United really needs a midfielder. Really, they badly need a midfielder and a centre back as well. So let's see what happens. But really, I think this cannot continue for long. Otherwise, what I was scared of, like what I assumed, what I was, predicting in the previous videos that they might go down the top four, that can happen. But if this type of performance keeps on happening, because with this type of performance, I think another disaster can happen. Just like last season, 6-3 against City, 7-0 against Liverpool. That type of disaster is coming if this continues.
Well, I think we will somehow figure it out. I still have faith in Eric Ten Hag, but I think rightly said that we need another center back, because Lisandro Martinez, he's one of my favorite players at United, but he's reckless. He had no reason to give away that yellow card in the first half. And the
Exactly. True. I
manager,
think if you ask me, that should have been a red card. That could have been a red card as well. That was
uh,
a very rash tackle.
it was,
You know,
it
he was.
was,
It was a two leg slider or directly onto the player. It was
yeah.
very rash. If he was in La Liga, if it was in La Liga, he could have been handed a red card.
And think about this, even the manager does not have the confidence in you. Otherwise, many defenders get yellow card in the first half. Doesn't mean that they do not start in the second half. But he did not start in the second half just because Eric Ten Hag does not have the confidence. He does not have the faith in Martinez that he will stay calm and in tight situations. So I think that needs to improve.
Reckless part aside, others leaving that reckless part aside, we all know how injury prone Rafael Varane is. It's his third season in Manchester United, and he in the last couple of seasons he has been out for like
Yeah, I know.
3 months at least. So definitely you need a centre back, and not just a typical, a backup centre back, but a proper centre back, a well-known centre back, someone maybe like Manuel Akanji, someone like Manuel Akanji. Of course, they will not go for Manuel Akanji. They cannot get him, but someone like him who has the authority, who can lead
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I mean the bad news that I'm hearing is that Maguire is going to stay at United for this season at least. So if they are thinking that Maguire will be that player who will
No,
deputize
no,
for
no,
Varane,
definitely not.
then that's a big
Definitely
issue.
not. They need a centre back. Well, I think we'll talk about this whole transfer
Yeah.
thing in a separate segment. We'll talk about this separately. But at the moment, we can clearly see that this team is slightly dismantled. There is no sync among any of the player. I couldn't see any sync between Casemiro and Fernandes, between Fernandes and Mount and Rashford. Any which ways, I really cannot rely on him or syncing with any player. I think he still lacks the maturity. He still plays like, those 19-20 years old players, like Garnacho. Someone like Garnacho, he is a better version of Garnacho. That's it, with bit more control.
I think he's more of an athlete who knows how to shoot a ball than a proper footballer. That's why I'm saying that
Exactly.
he needs to play on the left wing. He's not a player who can
Even
play
as
in the
a
center
wing,
forward
others
position.
even as a winger, I really haven't seen him properly syncing with any of the midfielder. Are you getting
He
coordinating with
doesn't,
the midfielder,
but
going
the
and supporting any midfielder? He stays one side if I and he waits for the pass.
But he doesn't need to. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if the rest of the team is in sync, then he's a very good linchpin or a player who can run behind the defense. He's very quick and he has a good shot on him. He can finish chances. So he does not need to be involved in the game. But again, then he needs to play on the left wing. So whenever we get a chance, Bruno, Mount, Casemiro, they can lay off the ball to him and he can run straight to the goalkeeper and score, which he did last season. And that's why he scored so many goals. So I don't think that Ten Hag should necessarily involve him in the game. He should be playing on the left wing, isolated from all for the rest of the game. But
I
I mean,
think, considering his age and the kind of stature that he has been getting at Manchester United, the kind of contract he got at Manchester United, the kind of expectations fans have from him, when you are playing against a big team, someone like Liverpool or maybe Manchester City or Arsenal, when you are playing against those teams, you need all your 11 players to be 100% involved, right? Just one player, waiting for the ball and rest 10 are making up for him. That cannot happen against these big teams because these big teams press highly. They really press a lot. So he needs to start involving a bit more. He needs to become a team player rather than just waiting for the ball because right now he has to work on that particular part as well.
I
He
think
has
that
to.
that I think that ship has sailed now. To be honest with you, it's a he can he's already like 26, 27. If he does not have the skill set and he cannot get that skill set into his game now. It's too late actually. So we will have to work with what we have, and the best option for him is to play on the wings, especially on the left wing. And
Exactly.
obviously, you said rightly that we need all the 11 players to be involved. Otherwise, we will not. win the league. So we are not going to win the league anyway. All I want is just for them to challenge for the second, third spot and go as far as they can do in the Champions League. So I think Rashford is good enough for that. If we want to mount a title challenge, then obviously we will have to move on from Rashford, and not just him. I mean, look at Luke Shaw, Van Bissaka. Do you think that they can ever win a league? So
80% of the team, you have to move on from 80% of the squad.
yeah, to be honest, yes, we will have to if we want to challenge for the title. But at least to finish in
Even
the top
to
four.
win the title, even Holland is not good enough.
I mean, he's an unknown quantity right now, so I cannot
It
say
can
much
be a
about him.
surprise, but looking at the current situation, his previous games, I think I saw a bit of his trend in Atlanta, and he is good, but definitely not good enough to win the title. Anyways, too soon to comment anything on that, but I think United really needs to work a lot. At least build a sync among the players. Forget about winning the matches. Build some sync among the players because it was Wolf. Imagine Newcastle as the opponent and this type of game. Man, you'll be thrashed like 4-0, 5-0.
If we play like
And
this,
I'm
yes.
talking about Newcastle. I'm not talking about City. I'm talking about Newcastle.
I know. I know. We played better in the preseason than this match. I don't know what happened. The player were on some kind of drug. I don't know what happened to them, and they were just rubbish, horrible. I couldn't see. I couldn't really see how they were. The player of a stretcher of Casemiro, man, he was losing the ball like anything. I could not believe that this guy is Casemiro. He did not know how to receive the ball, let alone playing along with it. Every time he used to get the ball, the player was snatching away from him. So I don't know if he's tired or what, but we need a replacement for not a replacement for a but a good backup for Casemiro,
Backup.
because I can see him getting injured or tired this season. He's 33, I think now, 32 or 33. So he may be moving along now. So we need to find a backup for him as well.
Well, definitely you need a backup. As I already told you, you need a central midfield. Actually, you need two midfielders, one defense midfielder and one central
Yeah,
midfielder.
yeah,
Exactly.
and a center back.
Anyways, let's see a much better start than the previous season. You know that what kind of start you had in the previous season. Two defeats in the first two games and 4-0 defeat against that too, a 4-0 defeat against Brentford. Much better than that one.
Yeah,
I think they should improve. To be very honest, they should improve. Ten Hag, I think he reads the game very well, and I think he will be doing the same. He will be making some changes, and soon he will be making the
yeah.
changes.
Just to
After a couple of games, he didn't take any time to,
yeah.
get Ronaldo out of the squad. So he is that type of a ruthless manager. So I'm expecting changes. So they should improve, to be very
Yeah,
honest.
just to conclude, I also want to talk about the positives, and there were not too many positives. The only two positives that I saw is one, that we won the game by hook or by crook, which is very good. And the other thing is Onana. I think he was good. He had a few good saves, and he was still commanding in the box, and he feels comfortable on the ball. I thought that the defense and the midfield was not supporting him. He laid off a couple of very good long balls to Garnacho also. He miscontrolled those
Yeah,
passes, but those were very good passes. So a player who can do that from game one, see how much he can improve, and once he gets more confidence, and
exactly.
that was a big positive for me. But that was the only positive, to be honest with you. Nothing apart
I
from that.
think I totally agree with you. Onana has shown some. He gave us few more. He had few moments where, we could see how good he is. But I think he still needs to learn a lot about Premier League at the moment. He still has to learn because it's a different league altogether. It's a different monster altogether. He has to learn a lot. But looking at the first game, I am pretty sure that he will improve. He will learn very soon. He won't take much time.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, so this was our review about the Manchester United versus Wolverhampton game. If you have any other theory what or any other point or anything which you think that you don't agree with what we said, then you can mention it in the comment section. Soon we'll come up with another video. Till then, keep subscribing, watching, sharing. Stay tuned. Cheers, everyone.
Just